Let's go! Are you kidding me? Will we even have an LSU versus Alabama game? I'm going to get you all up to date on the breaking news that there is an outbreak with positive cases with the LSU football team, okay? This is not good, obviously. We may not even have an Alabama game come Saturday. So, go on ahead. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm going to give you some thoughts outside of what's currently being talked about right now. So, let's start with Ed Orgeron's press conference earlier today. He wouldn't get specific with certain players about the outbreak that's going on right now with the program, but as of right now, this small outbreak, is it a small outbreak? In particular, with an LSU football team that is currently down a lot of players due to opt-outs, due to transfers, and so on. But as of right now, there is a small outbreak with positive cases, and LSU right now with no tight ends, no long snappers, and only one scholarship quarterback, TJ Finley. And Ed Orgeron did provide some clarity on Myles Brennan earlier today that he might be out for the year. They might be shutting him down. So, as Brody Miller points out here, LSU scholarship numbers are already down in the 60s. Some of that was by design because, well, LSU's about to lose 4 scholarships per year due to that story a few weeks ago, self-imposing recruiting violations against their own program, and then, of course, Odell Beckham Jr. stuff. So the numbers were already low, and according to the SEC, you have to have at least 53 scholarship players with, I believe, 7 offensive linemen, 7 defensive linemen. But as of right now, LSU has no tight ends. So I don't know if that necessarily is included into the lineman discussion, but nevertheless, losing anybody at this point is a problem. Also, as Brody also notes here, LSU's already rescheduled a game, the Florida game, and that game is scheduled for December 12th. Now, this is where things get interesting because I'm just not sure if they're going to be able to squeeze a game in at all. Now, coming up, this may not be the only issue we have as far as games being played because Brooks Cabuena obviously is reporting now that there could be postponement discussions already in the works. I don't keep up with breaking news. In fact, I was cutting a Derek Stingley Jr. video when this news broke. Well, something happened. I got a text saying that a Halloween party could be at the center of this outbreak. And that comes to no surprise to me at all because for those that didn't go to LSU, Halloween's a big deal at LSU, partially because the bye week normally coincides with Halloween weekend. LSU and Alabama always play on an early November date. Normally, Halloween weekend is open. Sometimes there's a game being played, just depends on the date. But that's why it's such a big day, because there really is no football competing against it. So I wasn't really shocked when I got that message. But then, of course, there is the great Ross Dellinger, who obviously is a far better reporter when it comes to breaking news. He already had this out. LSU's outbreak stems from a party around Halloween, and because of contract tracing, has put the Tigers dangerously close to the SEC's 53-man threshold to play. And notice 53-man threshold actually refers to, I believe, 53 scholarship players, which includes defensive backs. Oh, there you go. Deli right there with the a little bit more details. But, I was shocked when I got that message earlier, but I was also not shocked. LSU not having the best season. They wanted to probably blow off some steam after that 48-11 beatdown. It is what it is. Now, is this just happening at LSU. Mississippi State dealing with their own issues right now. And Mississippi State Auburn, according to sources, has been postponed to December 12th. And this is after Mississippi State is also going to deal with numbers issues just by people opting out, like Kylan Hill and a few other players, now that their season has gone into the trash. So Texas A&M announces that it's paused practices after multiple cases of COVID-19, according to my friend and yours, Shehan Jayaraja of Dave Campbell Texas Football Magazine. So Texas A&M dealing with an outbreak. And remember, LSU not only plays Alabama this week, they have to go to Fayetteville to play Arkansas, where their coach, Sam Pittman, who's been the best coach in the SEC West this year, has tested positive. So it's not just LSU, folks. It's a lot of people dealing with this. So that is 3 teams in the SEC West, not including the SEC East. We're talking about the SEC West. A&M, Arkansas, both teams you still have to play this year. And then, of course, your own team having to deal with what's happening right there. So that's the breaking news. Here are my thoughts. Outbreaks are going to happen. Now, earlier this year, the outbreak for LSU Florida was on the Florida side, okay? Not the LSU side so much. We don't know if some of the players have already played with the positive diagnosis. We're still kind of learning this on the fly. Heck, just this weekend, Trevor Lawrence, who had his own issues, was on the sideline. So if he's on the sideline, I don't know. And then Notre Dame rushes. It's a mess. It's a mess. And it's funny because last time I did a video regarding postponements, it became a big political thing. It's not politics. We're dealing with something very real here. Obviously, if LSU was the team that they were last year, I just don't know if outbreaks would be happening. Because that team was very disciplined. They were buttoned up, and that helps when you're winning. I don't think last year's team would be going to a Halloween party in the middle of an undefeated season. Now, I got info that it was a rager. Okay? It's one thing if you have like just a small Halloween get-together. But a rager? If it is a rager, you would think the players would have some qualms about going to a rager, especially knowing how often they get tested. And, you know, if you go to a party like this, you're actually letting the team down. Kind of selfish. No other way around it. And I understand. College kids will be college kids, and they will party, and they will do what they want to do. And that's all fine. I don't mind college kids being college kids. I'm just saying from a football perspective, you have been told to stay away from social gatherings like this, and you didn't necessarily do that. Now, here's the thing. We don't know how many players actually went. We don't know if no players went, and people, whether it be girlfriends or classmates or whatever, went to the party and then they got it and then gave it to. That's why I'm not calling out any players, because we don't know any players specifically. So let's do a quick subscriber shout out. This is Michael. Myles was a top 5 QB in the country before he got hurt. I really hate what this injury has done for Terrace Marshall. I hope he still, or he says, I hope he goes in the first round. Terrace going in the first round is highly unlikely. I would like to see it happen, but as of right now, Jamar Chase is a first-round receiver. I know Jalen Waddle just got hurt. He's a first-round receiver. Then you're going up against Juju Atwell of Louisville, who's a really good player. Rondale Moore, Purdue. is going to get some good hard looks. Chris Olave of Ohio State. So it's going to be competitive. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Terrace Marshall goes in the first round. But I'll also tell you this. The amount of second and third round receivers that have turned out to be like superstars in the NFL, if you're a Saints fan, you know about Michael Thomas. Heck, just look at LSU. Jarvis Landry, a guy that fell in the second round, broke a bunch of NFL records with bad quarterback play. So it's interesting. I understand a lot of you are big Terrace Marshall Jr. fans. I am too. I hope it does work out that he gets into the first round. And this from Tony Jr. regarding our recruiting video with Derek Davis Jr. You have to love attacking the weakness of the secondary with Derek Davis Jr. and Sage Ryan committing. We do need a couple of offensive linemen to close it out. Yeah, that's going to be the problem. Can you get Tristan Lee? Can you get Savion Byrd? Bryce Foster still out there. I'm not so sure. You know, a lot of people feel all three of the offensive linemen that are big targets for LSU right now, some people think all three of them are going to go to Oklahoma. We'll have to wait and see, but obviously offensive line is a big position of need for this class, especially after last year you only got 3 offensive linemen in that class, 2 of which were 3 stars. Now, they might turn out to be really good players, but still. Guys, thank you so much. Don't forget Tuesday night live streams at 7 p.m. Central. It's Power Hour. LSU. Boom. Bam, bam, bam. Ooh. Are we doing chicken wings again tonight? Let's go. Chicken wings. Let's go. Let's go.